And I think we're all a little bit envious of their lifestyle over in Italy, to say the least, but they're doing great things and flying the flag for Scottish football. Celtic flying the flag for Scottish football this evening in the Europa League. You are listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Sports Extra this evening. More from James McFadden and Tom English at half-time, but the teams are gathering now in the tunnel, so I think high time we handed you over to our commentary team this evening of the former Celtic goalkeeper Pat Bonner and our match commentator Thomas Duncan.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. Good evening, everyone. It is Celtic's penultimate game of the Europa League phase, but they hope is not the penultimate game of the Europa League campaign as they seek to reach the knockout phases. 3 points and a respectable goal difference in their final 2 games should do it. Anything more than that would be a bonus for Martin O'Neill and Celtic as the players now walk out at the Stadio Renato Dall'Ara in Bologna, a bowl-shaped venue with a old sort of clock tower almost in the stand on the far side. It is a brilliant stadium to play football in, as Lewis Ferguson has found out over the course of a couple of seasons, where he has led his club to the Champions League and then to a Coppa Italia trophy last season as well, captaining Bologna tonight. And it is Celtic's job to try and down him and his Bologna teammates this evening. It will be no mean feat despite Bologna's concerning form, just 1 win in 9 Serie A matches, and they've not kept a clean sheet in 14 games, and they look vulnerable to counter-attacks and at set pieces in recent matches, something Celtic will look to exploit, particularly with Dyson Maeda playing as the central striker. They've certainly got pace up that top end of the pitch. The Celtic team is Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Donovan, Trusty, Scales and Tierney, midfield of McGregor, Hatate and Engels, Yang and Tunekti either side of Maeda. Bologna too have made plenty of changes from the weekend defeat by Fiorentina. Vincenzo Italiano is famous for his tinkering. He once went 141 games while in charge of Fiorentina without fielding the same starting 11, much to the frustration, I'm sure, of some of his players. But 7 changes from that loss at home to La Viola, and their lineup is Skorupski, the Polish international, in goals, Ortea, Casali, Hegjem and Miranda, once capped by Spain at left back, Pobega on loan from AC Milan in midfield alongside Moro, Lewis Ferguson playing as a number 10 in the 4-2-3-1 system, Jonathan Rowe on the right, Benjamin Dominguez on the left, and Tis Dalinga, who has 2 goals in this league phase to his name, the Dutchman up front. He has some key players missing, Vincenzo Italiano, including Federico Bernardeschi, the 3-time Serie A winner with Juventus and won the Euros with Italy, of course, as well. He's out with injury, as is Gonzalo Castro, the striker, who's ill. Jean Lecumi, who's a Colombian international defender, also out. Remo Freuler, who often anchors the midfield, as an 80-plus cap Swiss international who they've chosen not to register in their Europa League squad this year. And their priority, clearly, the league and defending their Coppa Italia crown. But nonetheless, they have lost just the 1 game in this league phase. And that was to Aston Villa Park, where John McGinn scored the only goal for his sides that day. Bologna pretty much home and hosed on 11 points. And so the pressure in terms of results for the Europa League is off to a certain extent, but the pressure from their home fans and everyone around the club about this recent run of results, which has seen them slide only slightly down the table in Serie A. They are still 8th and nestled between Atalanta and Lazio in what is a tight title race in Italy again this season. Inter Milan leading Scott McTominay's Napoli at this moment in time. Martin O'Neill looking to get another away win with Celtic in Europe after the triumph in Feyenoord. They've not won consecutive away games in major European competition since April 2003, when O'Neill was in his first spell in charge. They have been a bit like hen's teeth over the years. Away wins for Celtic in the main draw of European competition. They've got one this campaign. Can they add another over in Italy? A big game for them before they host Utrecht of the Netherlands next week, which appears a more winnable tie, with Utrecht just with a single point to their name in the Europa League thus far and sitting 10th in the Eredivisie anything Celtic could take here would be a massive bonus against a very fine, on their day, Serie A sides. Daisen Maeda looking for his first goal in the Europa League this season, leading the line for Celtic tonight. Thomas Javancira in the door, but won't be able to play in Europe unless Celtic get into the knockout phase, and thereafter he can be registered. Celtic kicking off, and in their change kit, which is white top with the highlighter green bands round it and the bright green shorts and socks. Bologna in their traditional red and blue stripes, Il Rosso Blue their nickname. And as I said, Celtic, although they don't traditionally like to play on the counter-attack, it has been a source of vulnerability for Bologna. Just if you watch the highlights from their last 5 or 6 games, they leave a lot of space in transition, as managers like to talk about, and it's immediately a Celtic throw-in on this near side, just on the threshold of the penalty area. It's won by Bologna and cleared by Hegjem, the Norwegian centre-half, one of only 4 players to stay in the team from the weekend. Forward by Pobega, looking for Jonathan Rowe, formerly of Norwich City. He's up against Tierney, comes back inside and then goes in the outside, but Tierney is standing his ground well here, knocks it back into midfield for Nicola Moro, the Croatian. Now Ferguson into Rowe, forward to Dalinga, the striker, well won by Liam Scales, and now Maeda is trying to keep hold of the ball in the centre circle. Engels out to Yang on this near side, and back to Colby Donovan, who's switched back to his familiar right back berth after playing at left back against Auchinleck Talbot at the weekend. But a decent enough start, Pat Bonner, from Celtic.
Yeah, listen, they've got, as they like to have, possession, and you know, they got the kick off and they progressed up the pitch, and yeah, listen, it's about trying to control the game early on. Maeda will be a threat over the top, I think, with this back 4 of Bologna, but normally the Italians are good defenders, or they're well, you know, coached in defending, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops. But overall, I think the danger, I think, for Celtic will be in the wide areas. Rowe is quick, sharp, he's an intelligent player, he's an English boy, gone out to Italy also, has been around the Italian game now for a number of seasons, but he's got that dynamism about him, and he's the one that they'll have to be very, very careful about.
Yeah, Vincenzo Italiano leaving his top goal scorer this season, who plays on the right wing, left-footed, Riccardo Orsolini, as it's pinched by Pobega in midfield, and now the home side driving forward, and that's Dominguez past Donovan, and the cross into the box is far too high and will run out for a Celtic throw-in on the far side. But that's a glimpse of exactly what you're talking about, Paki, with it threat in the wide areas from Dominguez.
Yeah, and listen, they lost the ball in the middle of the pitch, they got caught on the ball, and in that sort of danger area when you have a midfielder trying to get it under control, he loses, and suddenly then they're breaking onto the back defenders, and then anything can really happen. It's poor cross at the end. It was he got down the left hand side, Dominguez, but he just overhit the cross. But yeah, a little bit of a threat early on from Bologna.
Yeah, the cross was miles too high from the Argentinian 22-year-olds, as Celtic take throwing in their own half back to Liam Scales, playing alongside Austin Trusty once more for Celtic. Tierney, 50th European appearance for Celtic tonight. Kieran Tierney forward immediately to Maeda, but the defender Hegjem gets across a Norwegian and stabs it out for a Celtic throw. You can immediately see Celtic trying to get it forward quickly to Maeda and test that. Yeah,
it's that ball down the side of the centre halves, not into feet really, but down the side, so that Maeda can use that pace and strength that he has.
Here's Donovan, goes inside and gives it back to Kasper Schmeichel, short to Scales on the left-hand side of his own box, forward immediately to Tunekte, and he's backing into the right-back Zortea, and it's pinched by Bologna, and Jonathan Rowe has it, but he's going back towards his own goal and strokes it all the way back to Lukasz Skorupski, who has missed the last 10 games. He has been first choice up until his injury.
He's 34 years old now. He's experienced, he's been around, but you know, when you've been out injured for that length of time, then it's about really, and a big game like this, it's a little bit of a chance to put him in right away.
And that was given away cheaply by Celtic out from the back, but Bologna give it straight back, and in return Celtic put it into a busy area. Pobega away to Jonathan Rowe, and back to the right back Zortea, and Bologna will once more go back to Skorupski. Yeah, it was played against Scotland in the Nations League that time when Andy Robertson beaten with a header in the dying moments to take Scotland into that playoff, as Skorupski plays it out. Oh, he's given it straight now to Daizamaida, who squares it, and it's a goal for Rio Hatate. Stunning opener for Celtic. It is a complete and utter gift from Bologna, which Celtic will gratefully accept. Maida squares for Hatate, and it is Bologna 0, Celtic 1.
Well, quite incredible, isn't it? We talked just seconds before that about Skorupski coming into the team and not playing for such a long time, and makes an absolute shocking pass, tries to lift it high and gets it all wrong, and then is committed, and it was a simple and a good decision from Maeda. He could have went for goal himself, the goalkeeper coming out, but he just squared it into the path of Hatate, and it was Hatate, wasn't it? I think it was, to put it into the back of the net. But certainly, what a mistake from the goalkeeper. But Celtic are not complaining. Great start from them. That will settle them down now. Can they get control now? Can they build on this?
Oh, now Maida's going in behind the defender again, and he goes down. He's been clipped as the referee looks at it. He gets to his feet, still has the ball, gives it to Yang, who's into the box. It's Yunjung Yang now, and Skorupski has to paw it away behind for a corner, and Celtic could have been 2-0 up there. And Arne Engels is asking the question whether that was denying a goal scoring opportunity at the back by Bologna. Corner though only to Celtic for now.
Yeah, and the goalkeeper makes up probably for that mistake with a decent save and a 1v1 situation. Yang does the right thing, lifts it high, and the goalkeeper's going to ground, but he sticks up that left hand and just gets a touch on the ball. But again, Celtic playing that ball in behind for Maeda initially. Could have been, if he had to stay down, it could have been a foul, could have been a sending off. He carries on, referee lets him, gives him the advantage, but what a chance for Celtic to make it 2.
And the corner is about to be taken. Officials happy with it, and it comes. In-swinger to the near post, glanced on by Trusty, and it's a scramble in the box as Liam Scales gets an effort on goal, but it's relatively comfortable for Skorupski. But Celtic, a goal and 2 good chances already in the opening 7 minutes.
Yeah, real nervous start from Bologna, obviously losing the goal and giving up a couple of chances. Now one also good ball into the box, a bit of pace, and they struggled really to clear it, so it's given Celtic real confidence. And I just wonder how the Italian fans will react to this. If Celtic gets that second goal, then that could be the catalyst for the fans to react very, very negatively inside that stadium.
Rio Hatate's 3rd goal of this Europa League campaign. What a simple one it was. Skorupski, shocker of a pass to Maida. He squares it for Hatate to put into an empty net, as Yang just gave away the foul there in Bologna. We talked about their form, and their poor home form, haven't won in 4 on their own patch, and the nervousness with a heavily rotated team once more. A few frontliners on the bench are out injured, and the goalkeeper back in for the first time in 11 games gives the opposition a head start.
I'll tell you what though, they're trying to build a game, Bologna, from the back a little bit, using the goalkeeper. Celtic are pressing them really, really high and putting them under loads and loads of pressure. And maybe you could say, listen, they're brave to continue doing what they're doing. If I was them, I would like to see them maybe knock that ball a little bit longer to get rid of the Celtic press, but so far they continue doing it, but they're having all sorts of problems to execute it.
Bologna 0, Celtic 1 in the Europa League, live on BBC Radio Scotland Extra and 5 Sports Extra. Celtic 3 points would probably see them pass safely into the knockout playoff rounds as Donovan prepares to take a throw-in. The 19-year-old starting at right back tonight. Vincenzo Italiano out gesturing and issuing the instructions furiously. He's a man under pressure in the Bologna dugout after taking over at the start of last season. Went on to win the Coppa Italia, beating AC Milan in the final 1-0. Dan Ndoye with a goal now at Forest in the Premier League, of course. And this season it's started fairly slowly, then it went on a 12-game unbeaten run from the end of September to the start of December, but it's been a bit of a toil since. Did get to the final of the Supercoppa in Italy after in Saudi Arabia seeing off Inter Milan on penalties after a 1-1 draw. Lost the final 2-0 to Scott McTominay's Napoli. And things have gone from bad to worse since then, trailing 1-0. They don't look too comfortable at the moment as the defender Casale plays out from the back out to Jonathan Rowe. He floats one down the right-hand touchline, won by Scales. It drops though, and it's played out to the far side, controlled by Rowe. Then on to Morrow, back out to the near sides, and then played down the side of the box for Rowe. He just keeps it in, right on the byline. He's forced towards the corner flag. He's got two Celtic players in front of him, and Celtic have won it. Here's Tierney galloping forwards and puts the pass out to the touchline for Tenekti, and then into Scales, and nice possession from Celtic, although that was a bit of a risk as that one went back to Trusty, who was under pressure, but they did get it away in the nick of time. And now Bologna pressing ferociously, but they've been too keen as Tierney is fouled on the far side. Free kick to Celtic. They lead 1-0 after 11 minutes.
Yeah, it's incredible, you know, the difference in Scales. A couple of weeks ago it looked as if his confidence was gone because he was playing almost, he had no pass when the ball came to him on the left hand side. Now he's got a fullback that he can pass, simple pass to, and right away he's making his decision much quicker and better.
Played long by Bologna and Scales, and he misread that one, but he's got loads of time and space as it runs through to Kasper Schmeichel, who is yet to be tested in 11.5 minutes in this Europa League tie over in Italy. Bologna hosting Celtic. Hatate's goal, the difference as Scales looks up, goes long with a pass, but teammate Tenekti not on the same wavelength as it goes all the way through to Jorborn Heggem, the Norwegian centre-back, and it's out to Miranda on this near side, formerly of Barcelona and Real Betis, played forward by Skorupski.
You can see the reaction from the crowd there. Obviously Yang pressed on the right hand side, and when it was played back to the goalkeeper, Maeda, with that pace he has, right away goes and presses him, and the crowd got really anxious.
There's one back by Celtic again. McGregor, Hatate back to McGregor in Bologna territory. They pass it back to just about halfway through Scales. Stops on the ball and out to Tierney on the touchline. Tierney pressured and goes back to Scales into Hatate. Hatate, and he turns and spreads it to Trusty. Trusty going across back to the left-hand side, the left footer across to Scales. Now Tierney up the line with a pass, but again Tenekti had dropped in short. And
yeah, he should be down. But he should be reading that. You know, it's a nice little ball dinked over the fullback. He's come short, but he doesn't react to come short and drag the fullback in, and then when the space is created in behind, go and then try to exploit it. He just almost stands and lets the ball sort of be easily obtained by the fullback.
Good pressure again from Celtic. It's intercepted, and Engels gives it to Yang, who's in the centre of the pitch, and then he goes out to Tenekti on the left-hand side. Tierney runs on the overlap. Tenekti comes inside, gives it to McGregor. Back out to Tierney on the left. Tierney, low cross, blocked. Back to Tierney, and forced back to McGregor. McGregor back-pedalling slightly. Offloads to Scales. Scales back to McGregor. McGregor doesn't have a path forward, so he has to go back to Scales, and Bologna have managed to push out. Good pass for Hatate in the centre circle, and was he fouled there? Yes.
He's lucky.
Referee Vasilis Fotias blows the whistle. Lewis Ferguson disagrees with the decision.
Very lucky there actually to get away with that, because he hesitated a little bit. Once he controlled the ball, he was going to pass, just hesitated and allowed Ferguson to come in and put his foot down. I just didn't think it was a free kick, and suddenly then they could have been really on the counter-attack.
Here is Donovan. Takes it inside and then goes back to Kasper Schmeichel.
Celtic are well in control at this game at the moment. Just don't make any silly mistakes. That's all they have to do. Just keep the ball moving. Good movement off the ball.
It's up to Maeda, who drops in, and he's holding off Hegiem, and then comes off Rowe and out for a Celtic throw-in. And Dyson Maeda's got trouble with his eye here. We caught a stray one in the eye, and he's asking for play to be halted. Might have dislodged the contact lens. As we just get a little shot of the replay of the challenge there, but Dyson Maeda.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, and whether it was just maybe somebody, a trailing finger or something, got caught him in the eye or something, but he certainly has to go off the pitch here to get seen to.
Yeah, the referee, Vasilis Fotias, sends him to get sorted out. So Celtic momentarily down to 10 players, and the home fans getting frustrated because Celtic are taking their time here with this throw-in from Tierney on the far side, and he throws it down the line. Tenekti out-muscled. Drops for Bologna, but McGregor gets a touch on it to Tenekti, lays it off to Tierney, who plays one down the side for McGregor to chase. Flag stays down for now against no, it goes up.
Yeah, I thought he was offside. Just you know, he's obviously made a run a little bit early. A decent run, and behind again, just about a yard offside.
Yeah, he's making the run that perhaps Tenekti should be making, as Tierney's continually looking for it down that left-hand side.
Yeah, I think when you play in those wide positions, you know, you have to mix your game up. You know, times to get the ball to feet, of course, when the space is there. There's other times when you drag somebody in to go in behind, and then it makes the defender really then think. But if you keep doing the same thing all the time, then it's easy for the defender.
Rowe coming in off the right-hand side, goes back the way, and then it's out to Dominguez and Rowe. Little back heel return, good football from Bologna. Low strike near post, saved by Schmeichel. Fairly comfortable for the Celtic goalkeeper in the end, but it's the best move of the game from a Bologna point of view, as Ortea, the right back, got in there.
Yeah, nice combination between Rowe and Zorta, and it's the best move that they've had, I think, in this game so far. Again, in that wide position, and Jonathan Rowe involved. Clever, you've got to say.
Yeah, it was neat stuff. Neat build-up from Bologna down Celtic's left-hand sides. They're right. Schmeichel, always favourite to make that save. Didn't have enough power behind it. As Trusty gives it to Scales. Goes long with the pass. But again, Tenekti was kind of coming short slightly. And then Maeda's going to close down. Skorupski again, this time the goalkeeper takes no chances and launches it long. Scales wins the header, drops.
Again, there's nothing wrong with that ball over the top when you're under a little bit of pressure. It clears you know, the possibility of somebody nicking the ball off you. But then Tenekti has got to make...
It's controlled by Hatate. Now it's with Bologna on the edge of the box. Brilliant turn, and what a tackle that is. Superb from Callum McGregor, the Celtic captain, to take it off the toes of Thijs Dallinga as he was played in the box, and Celtic bailed out by Callum McGregor there.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what Schmeichel is thinking. Or he's playing can almost a straight ball into Hatate with players around about him, and he's got to be so sound on his first touch, and he's not. And then it just allows Bologna then to go and attack them.
Miranda's out swinging corner with the left foot, headed away to the edge of the area, bounces, headed back in, and it bounces, chance for Dallinga, smashed and blocked. Sliding challenge is an excellent one from Trusty.
What a block that is. That looked to me as if he's going to hit the target again and forces Schmeichel into a save.
Curling cross, stood up to the back post, headed down and behind for a corner kick, I think.
Yeah.
As a Celtic player.
You know, I hate to say it, it all comes from that pass from Schmeichel. You know, when you're doing well, you're in control, don't put the ball at risk. Why take that chance? Why take that chance? And it took two unbelievable interceptions, a block and an interception to get them off the hook, and now they're still under pressure. Corner over on the right hand side.
19 minutes played, Bologna 0, Celtic 1. Bologna corner, outswinger headed away, and then it drops for Yang to hook further down the pitch as Bologna scamper after it and have to start again from the halfway line. It's with the centre back Casale, and he gets rid. It's Moro down the right-hand side with a pass to Jonathan Rowe. He's got two players on him. Oh, he's managed to go between them, and he's going towards the box. He's still on his feet. Brilliant run from Jonathan Rowe. He gets the byline, cuts it back, and it's away. Off the line, really. as it rolled across, begging to be tapped in, and Celtic, having started so confidently, last 2 or 3 minutes under severe pressure as it's worked to the left-hand side, comes in with a left foot from Miranda, bounces in the edge of the box, and Engels' header, and then Donovan plays it off the Bologna player, who is Dominguez. He'll try and keep it in, and he's not managed to do it. Goal kick to Celtic. Bologna 0, Celtic 1.
You know, again, to go back to the pass from Schmeichel, you know, there's now, what, probably 5-6 minutes of intense pressure, all coming from the wrong decision. When you can play that ball wide, you know, Celtic are using up their luck at this moment in time. 2 blocks, that one again cleared, but Jonathan Rowe is the danger man out in that right-hand side. He's got a trick in him. He's direct when he gets it, 1v1, but don't allow him to get into those positions high up the pitch when you have to then go and have to defend against a really good player.
One by Engels as it dropped in midfield. Now Hatate trying to return it to Engels. A bit of an underhit pass, and then Engels forces it forward, but Yang was behind him, coming from a long way back. He won't reach that. It was Kobe Donovan who knocked that off the from in front of goal. When Jonathan Rowe got to the byline and cut it across, it was Donovan who was there to lash it away. Good defending from the 19-year-old. And that's a couple of challenges now Celtic have had to make to keep Bologna out. Donovan with one of them, Trusty with a great block to prevent Dalinga's shot from going on target, and then McGregor's last-ditch intervention as well. Here is Dalinga, the Dutchman, and he is tackled by Trusty, runs out for a Bologna throw-in. Arnie Engels is screaming that it was Celtic ball, but it's taken by Bologna. Dominguez, and he's turned away from Donovan here, and Yang is standing in support. Donovan finds Haida, he's got nowhere to go, and he's bumped, and it's all very scrappy. Sliding challenge goes in from Moro, and it will run out for a Celtic goal kick as we hit 21.5 minutes. It's Bologna 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, Celtic don't want to make it a scrappy game. They want to keep the control in the game that they had so comfortably in the first 15 minutes of the game, and they got their goal and they created chances, and then suddenly just a little bit of poor decision making, bad execution, and suddenly now they're under pressure, and it's given the crowd. You can see and hear the crowd getting behind this Bologna team. You know, I did say initially if Celtic got that second goal, it could have turned the complete other way, but now they're up for it and the players have responded.
Yeah, that came off the Celtic player. It's a corner to Bologna over on the far side. Live commentary to come from Ibrox later as Rangers host Ludogorets of Bulgaria, with only coefficient points really up for grabs for Rangers in their Europa League campaign. As the Bologna corner comes in, it's high, right on top of Schmeichel, who had to touch it over the bar, or might have gone wide of the post in the end, but had to deal with it, and it's going to be a corner from the other side now. Yeah,
he had to deal with it. It's one of them that you're under it, it's going in. It would have been going in at the back post, it's bent in, bit of height on it, you don't know who's coming in, so the best thing to do is just help it on his way, but it does give another corner on the opposite side to Bologna.
Nicola Moro, Croatian international, this time he puts it to the edge of the box, and the referee has to get out of the way as the strike comes in from distance. Schmeichel gets down low to his right to make a decent save.
Yeah, it was a good save, true bodies. You know, again, Celtic giving up the edge of the box, everybody in marking, free player on the edge, well picked out off the training ground, you could see, or maybe an instinct from a player on the ball that sees the space and then goes and tries to create the situation. But Schmeichel had to react really quickly as it come through. Quite a lot of bodies in around about the penalty 6-yard box.
Celtic are playing it into their front three quite a lot, but it's just not sticking at the moment as it was in the first sort of 10-12 minutes. Keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's not so much into them, it's beyond the defence for them to run onto, and that then pushes Bologna back, and then Celtic can press high up the pitch and the whole team can come up. If you just play it in defeat and it's lost, you can't really then push up after the ball and you're still stuck in your own half.
Bologna playing out from the back. They've been looking a far more likely team in the last sort of 8-9 minutes to find an equaliser after Hatate's tap-in opened the scoring for Celtic in the opening 6 minutes. Complete gift from the goalkeeper Skorupski. Maeda squared for Hatate to tap home. Martin O'Neill deep in conversation with Sean Maloney, the coach, on the touchline as they work out how to try and reassert themselves in this game. Still a valuable lead as McGregor goes after this and gets onto it with a left foot. straight to Casale, and then Zortea sclaffs one off the pitch. Be a Celtic throw taken by Tierney to the feet of Liam Scales. 25th European appearance for Liam Scales tonight for Celtic. Celtic looking for the free kick. Hatate went to ground, not getting it. Bologna will come forward, and now it is the Italians who will get the free kick. McGregor going in, and it's a free kick in a handy position for Bologna, about 25 yards from goal.
Yeah, this time I think Hatate's got to do better. You know, ball's played into his feet. Don't come to the ball, come out an angle. If you're going to come straight down the line and the ball's played into you, there's a chance that you're going to lose it. If you go off to the side, you can see just over your shoulder. You didn't really know what was behind him, and suddenly the ball's taken off him, and that then allows again Bologna to be a bit more advanced high up the pitch and to get their free kick.
And it is a free kick, so a wee bit further out, maybe 30 yards or so, and it's towards the right-hand side, in line with the right-hand side of the box. Played it short to Jonathan Rowe, who's going to try and take on Maeda, and he does so, goes to the byline, chops back on the left foot, sends it into the edge of the 6-yard box, and the header is up and away by Celtic to this near side. Dominguez now plays it to the edge of the box. Morrow tries to shift it onto the right foot. He's closed down, and then the strike from distance is well over the top and behind, and Celtic will take that sort of effort all day long. They still lead 1-0 in this first half.
You don't mind him shooting from that distance. Zorta, he's a right back and he gets it all wrong, but good defending at the back post. But Jonathan Rowe, again, you can see that he's a danger man. He's got a real trick in him, and as I say, he gets the ball into the box, and he is the guy that is the team or the player that Bologna can rely on to be creative on that right-hand side.
He joined from Marseille in the summer after he was transfer lifted after a dressing room bust-up with the World Cup winner from France, Adrien Rabiot, which Roberto De Zerbi, the manager at the time, described as like a bar fight. He said he'd not seen anything like it in football, the two of them in the dressing room going at it, throwing punches, and the both of them were transfer listed, and Rowe moved on and joined Bologna in the summer.
Yes, I've been there in dressing rooms when maybe not quite a bar fight, but certainly people having a go at each other and being quite aggressive, and sometimes it can help, sometimes it, especially if you probably need that, but other times then it's over the top. But if it doesn't fit into the dressing room psychic, then yeah, you're better getting out.
Booking there for Daisen Maeda, a late one on Nicolo Casale, the Italian centre-back.
Yeah, I don't like when he gets booked early in a match, Maeda, because he's such an aggressive player closing down that sometimes he's that half second just you think he's never going to get there, and suddenly he goes in it, but he's a half maybe second late, and he can stick out a leg, and we've seen him before get into all sorts of problems by just being a second late.
And it's Celtic who are guilty of giving away the ball, but they've won it back. Yang into Hatate, first time to Scales, and then out to Tierney, who controls and has Tinekti. He's short of halfway, and he's got four players in a square around him, manages to go back to Liam Scales, but Celtic struggling to get out with their own half in a way they weren't in the opening 10-12 minutes. And then Bologna putting a bit of pressure on as Scales gives it to Tierney in line with the edge of his own box, and he decides to drive away from Jonathan Rowe, who bites back at him, and Tierney was looking for the free kick. He'll get the throw in instead, and 28 minutes gone, Bologna 0, Celtic 1. Hatate's goal the difference. Celtic look to get on to 10 points that would probably see them through to the playoff round of the knockout phase. Top 8, of course, go straight through to the last 16, as Rangers managed last year. Bologna have that in their sights. They're on 11 points at the moment with this game, and obviously the final game against Maccabi Tel Aviv to come, as Trusty is eased the side illegally by Delinga, and Celtic get a free kick.
A definite foul. He's gone. He's trying to hit the ball. Delinga knew he wasn't getting it. He just tried to use his body and just put him off balance, and he's come down quite heavily, but he got the free kick. Trusty, and we'll see what Schmeichel does. He's going to play it long up. He really doesn't have a lot of targets up front to play it into, so you just got to play it into a kind of a wide area and hope that you pick up the second phase.
And it's into midfield, which Pobega plays it off a Celtic player out for a throw-in on this near side. It's thrown down the line. Good recovery from Donovan, who nods it out for a Bologna throw-in. Down in the Celtic final thirds. More defending to do for the Scottish champions, who...
I just wonder what a new signing coming in, Chivanchira. There you go, we'll get used to it. But coming in, he's obviously have 6'3". I just hope he's good enough in the air up front that you can actually go maybe at times a little bit longer, and you can maybe win the ball on the first phase.
McGregor plays it long, and it's a good run beyond from Hatate, and it's won back by Bologna. An example there of Celtic trying to stretch the play. Here's Lewis Ferguson driving over halfway, claims he was pulled back, and then he's definitely tripped there. Gets the free kick on the far side touchline, and the yellow card is going to come out, I think, for Reo Hatate. It is indeed. So he joins Daisen Maeda in the book.
Yeah, it was a kind of a silly foul, actually. He didn't really need to do it because, first and foremost, he made a really good run forward. Maybe didn't have the legs to get away, but you know, he's pulled Ferguson back there, which you don't really. And then goes into the tackle. So it was a kind of almost like a double foul. Didn't have to do it because he wasn't really going anywhere. And now he ends up in the referee's book, and that then just puts pressure again on that player.
You can see Ferguson put the two fingers up to say to the referee, that's two fouls. He pulled me back and he had a kick at me, which is true, but just obviously the one foul committed after the advantage was initially played, as it switched to Dominguez on the left-hand side for Bologna. Yang in front of him, comes in on the right foot, stands it up to the back post. Ferguson's up there, knocks it down, Rowe on the volley into the turf, and Celtic clear. And then hooked away by Yang. Maeda stoops to head, but Bologna have it back straight away as Ortea. Ferguson, low ball, flashed the near post, and another excellent challenge from Austin Trusty. Just squeezes it away for a corner. Celtic survive again.
Yeah, down that right-hand side again, Ferguson putting in it. Just took a little deflection off Tierney and puts it into the path, I think, of the big striker, Dalinga, but Trusty, really good defending, slide and tackle, gets the block in.
Corner from Morrow, short to Jonathan Rowe, corner of the box. He stands and pauses and gives it back to Morrow, and his cross is deflected off Cal McGregor and behind for another corner, so they'll get another attempt at that. 13 minutes plus stoppage time to the break. Bologna 0, Celtic 1. Still Reo Hatate's goal the difference, as Morrow gets ready to take from the far side. Is Bologna's 6th corner. Outswinger headed down and away, then the edge of the box. Miranda with a fierce strike, and it eventually takes a nick as well on its way through and goes behind for another corner.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it here. It just took a nick again off Trusty, I think, or was it? I think it might have.
Yeah, it was Trusty.
Yeah, it was Trusty, as it comes off his hip and goes wide. But again, Celtic giving up the edge of the box, and that's twice now that there's chances fell in that second phase to the edge of the box. Somebody has got to deal with that. You've got to either get out early or stay in that position and not allow anybody to get a free shot at goal, because anything can happen.
Arne Engels is putting a bit of a forearm into the chest of Tommaso Pobega.
The edge of the box is free here.
And that's where they're looking to go. Here as they go short, Dominguez, he has options on the edge of the box. He tries to put it in, and it's a shocking cross, and Celtic will be delighted with that one. And they clear downfield over halfway, and it'll run for a throw-in. Hatate has already been booked. A referee's walking over. He's gone. He's gone. Reo Hatate's been sent off here. 2 bookings in the space of just a few minutes. It's madness from the Celtic midfielder, having given his side the lead. He's been dismissed 12 minutes before the break, and it's a trip. We'll get another look at it, whether it was worthy of a yellow card, a second yellow. The first one was definitely a yellow card. Whether this is a yellow card, we shall see, but the referee has made his mind up. Reo Hatate is gone.
Oh, he has kicked out. You know, I've just looked at the replay. He's kicked out.
He's caught him on the back of the heel.
He's caught him in the back.
Miranda.
Not so silly. He's been booked just 5 minutes ago, and now he's booked again. 2 bookings, send off, puts real pressure onto Celtic, and them really in this game 1-0 up. But now he's kicked out, and there's nobody to blame but Hatate for me in this one.
What is he thinking? I just don't understand the 2 fouls. The one on Ferguson, he pulls him back, and then he has a bit of a swipe at him, and when Ferguson was right on the touchline, just over the halfway line, didn't have anywhere to go. And in that one as well, that ball's just running through. It's just running through it's a clearance. It's just running through into the Bologna half. There's no pressure for Celtic, no need for anything rash. And maybe it's accidental in his stride, but he's caught him right on the Achilles. And he's been booked again and he's gone. It's madness.
I was going to say, listen, I did ask you where the referee was from Greece. But I don't think the referee had any real option there. Like, it is a booking. It's not a sending off, direct sending off, red card, but it is a booking, unfortunately. And once you've been booked, 5 minutes ago, then you've got to realise that you're going to be on shaky ground, and do not do something silly to put your teammates under real pressure. And you can now see the crowd again up for this, and they know that they have a chance to get back into the game. So important now, 10 minutes to go in this game. Can Celtic get in at half-time and just, consolidate a little bit? They have the 1-0 lead.
Jonathan Rowe, flat ball, cleared by Scales. You're just thinking of things not to do in an away European performance, and it's a player to pick up two pretty avoidable bookings in the space of a few minutes when you've got a 1-goal advantage at a tough venue against a good side like Bologna. He's let his team down there, Rio Hatate, as it's cleared out, and it'll be a throw into or a corner to Bologna, I should say, on this left-hand side. And the pressure keeps coming from the Serie A outfit as it's worked to the corner of the box. Dominguez sends it in. The header is going to go well wide of the target, and it remains Bologna 0, Celtic 1. 10-man Celtic 1.
Yeah, and now, I did say about trying to defend the edge of the box from set pieces. Now they've got no other option but to get people in to pick up, and the nearest to the ball then has got to react.
If Dominguez just reverses that back to the taker, he's got acres of space to get in the box. They've obviously positioned these players round the box, but then they're not really using. They're picking out the wrong option every time. Bologna at Celtic will take all day long, but Vincenzo Italiano must be tearing his hair out, or if he had any, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about it was that it was a wrong decision to cross the ball into the box at that point in time, because it was a 2v1 situation, and I think right after it, both players were in real heated discussion about Dominguez putting the ball into the box.
Here come Bologna, trailing Celtic by 1-0, but they've been on top for the last 20 or so, and now they have the advantage of Rio Hatate's sending off Ferguson. Out to Rowe on the right-hand touchline, dummies the cross, chops inside, then sends it in eventually. The header off the back of Dominguez, I think it is, in the 6-yard box, and goes over the top. And Celtic, we mentioned that Atalanta performance in the Champions League last season. That wasn't with 10 men, but it feels like it's going to have to be another performance like that for Celtic if they're going to hold on to a win or a draw here. And Martin O'Neill's also been booked on the touchline. We've just seen a replay for some protests.
Yeah, he reacted, of course, hoping that maybe that referee got it wrong, but I don't think he did. When I watch it, it's a silly booking again. Two silly bookings for me.
Celtic trying to play it forwards. Well won by Yang on halfway. He goes down and gets the free kick, and this will be welcome respite for Celtic. 7 minutes to half-time, and they just need to try and play smart here. It's a bit early for time wasting, but just don't need to rush anything. Get your shape and try and at least get to half-time just now.
Yeah, Miranda just catching. He did get a booking for it, but I don't think it was over-intentional, to be honest. It's just down, sort of caught him with his, as he's planted his foot. But it's a sore one when you get it down the back of your heel into your Achilles. But Yang's back up and on the go. Oh, it was a good
That's
ball.
a lovely pick out to Maeda, the defender.
Such a bad position.
Yes, Korupski came way out his line, the defender. Manages to, who was or Pobega was the midfielder, actually retreated, managed to get the header on it and away just in the nick of time. Celtic have won a corner here though, 6 to the break, and they'll get a chance to put some of the big men into the box. If they could nick a second here, be massive before the break. A man down, here it comes. So the referee is unhappy with some of the pushing and pulling going on in the box, so this will have to be retaken. Zortea.
Well, the Italians, they do that. I know they're not all Italian, but they'll be their management Italian. They'll block, they'll hold on to you, they'll do all of those type of things. I know it's not probably in the rules, but that's what they normally do, man for man.
Corner on this near side, whipped in by Tierney, glancing header,
it's
it's turned in. Is that over the line? Austin Trusty's claiming it was, and the referee signals for the goal. Austin Trusty has put Celtic 2-0 in front. A quite stunning scoreline. They've added to their lead after Hatate sending off. Joy for Martin O'Neill, joy for Austin Trusty. He's made it Bologna 0, 10-man Celtic 2.
Oh, quite incredible. And, you know, it's a set piece, and anything can happen with a set piece. Hit in with great pace, lovely flick on. I'm not sure who got it. Was it Ingles that flicked it on, coming across? And there was, and by the way, Trusty did so well the back post. It looked as if it was going back. He got his foot high up into the air and just got a good touch on it before it went over the goal, the deadline, and puts Celtic into a commanding position. And now it's still going to be very, very tough. You know, you're a player down, you've got to defend well, but wow, gives them a real basis now to go on and get something out of this game. 2-0 up, incredible, with 5 minutes to go in this first half. Get in at half-time now, 2-0 up, and then you can start talking to the players about what they need to do as a 10-man team up against 11.
Incredible. We did mention how Bologna have been conceding regularly at set pieces recently, and Celtic take full advantage. They're not a team that score many from many set pieces this season either. It's a terrific delivery, and then Engels just gets the merest touch, and it's a brilliant finish from Trusty on the stretch with the left foot, comes off the underside of the bar, and replay shots well over the line. And Bologna completely suckered here as they come forward through Rowe on the right hand side. Tierney stands his ground, goes back to Ferguson. Ferguson returns it to Rowe. Rowe back to Ferguson. Ferguson returns it to the centre back, and now Hegjem over to Miranda on left back, and then into Pobega. He shimmies forward and gives it back to Miranda on the left touch line. Yang back defending. Pobega. Patient play from Bologna. Moro. Celtic holding firm at the moment. 3 minutes plus stoppage time to the break. It's out to Jonathan Rowe. Crosses it in, it bounces, and Engels gets a foot on it, and it squirms away to the edge of the box. Nice ball to Dominguez, keeps it in low, flash to the near post, and it's turned round and wide by Dalinga, and Celtic survive another wave of Bologna attack. 2-0 they lead with 10 men.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit like the Atalanta game, as you rightly say. You know, defend the box, make sure that you make good decisions. Don't create something that gives them a goal back, something silly that, you know, Schmeichel now, everything has got to be hit long and into the corners. Get them turned if you can. If not, make sure you get the ball higher up the pitch. Don't put the ball at risk when you don't need to do it.
Poor goal kick from Schmeichel, but gets away with it. And it's back with Skorupski, who gifted Celtic the opening goal. Long from him, flicked on, and Dominguez will go after it. Here he is, left-hand side of the box. Trusty's had to come across. Trusty does his job, but then sends it back to Miranda, who hoists it to the back post, flicked away by Tierney. And Tunekti is back, and then he dilly-dallies on the ball. He's robbed by Pobega. It's cut back, and then it's well mopped up by Yang. Plays out for a throw-in on the far side.
Yeah, it just shows you, you know, you're a winger. You haven't got that defensive mind on you. He tries to do something at the edge of the box which he shouldn't do, but it's so important that Tunekti and Tierney on that side really work together defensively really well. One will go to Jonathan Rowe, the other will cover, and vice versa at times, and you've got to do it really well. Good communication, good decision making.
It's Hegjem, the Norwegian, strides forward, knocks it to Miranda, who plays it down the side of the box for Dominguez. The Argentine back to Miranda, who scored against Rangers a couple of seasons ago in defeat by Philippe Clement's men at the time in the Europa League, as they marched into the knockout stages on that occasion. Here is Dominguez, plays it off Colby Donovan, and decent defending from a teenager. Throw in, and he takes the flag off the Corner post as well. Miranda throw in. All the way back to Moro. Moro checks back and gives it to Miranda. Miranda drops the shoulder, drives past Yang, gets the cross in. It's headed away by Donovan, staged outside the front post. And now Moro again. 30 seconds left of this first half plus stoppage time as a strike from distance takes a deflection behind for a Bologna corner.
Yeah, deflection just takes it away, but I don't mind them shooting from that distance. I would expect Schmeichel to be able to deal with it even if it's on target from about 25 yards. I know it can be a...
Sent in by Moro, header, Schmeichel, stunning stop. The header came in from Pobega, point blank. It was Hedgeham, I beg your pardon, the centre back. As the corner was worked short, it was whipped in, and Schmeichel has to react quickly to beat it behind for another corner kick over on the far side.
Yeah, very difficult one to defend initially. As a cross put in with pace, but Schmeichel, really good reaction save.
Rose corner, it's a high one. This time it goes directly into the box. Header, and then down by Ferguson, and takes a deflection. Schmeichel picks up. Bologna are screaming for handball. It will be checked, of course, as 2 minutes of added time is indicated at the end of this first half. 30 seconds of it have gone. It's 2-0 to Celtic with 10 men. McGregor, his hands are well inside his body there, Packy.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's headed just against his forearm, but absolutely it's gone. It's not, but it's so vital now that they get in at half time. You know, just a minute and a bit to go. Just managed the game almost out, you could say, it until half time. 2-0 up, quite incredible that they're in that position after getting Hattati sent off, but started off really well, then silly mistake from Schmeichel, then causes them to be on the back foot for the most of the second half, and then to get that set piece, incredible.
Throw in to Celtic, halfway up Bologna territory. 45 seconds left of the added time at the end of the first half. Donovan is waiting for an option. He drops it towards Engels, who just hooks it over his shoulder. No interest in playing at this stage. Celtic just want to get to the break with their 2-goal lead intact after Hattati's sending off between the goals they've scored. Rowe tries to squeeze it up the line for Zortea. Celtic have won it here. Yang going across the pitch, gives it to Engels, and then McGregor out to Tierney. Tierney, as I think about going down the outside, that stops Zortea in front of him. Back to Scales, who's got to be careful because Ferguson's here, and he goes back to Schmeichel. And this might be the final act of the first half in Bologna. Schmeichel goes long, and Bologna let it run out for a throw-in. And there is the half-time whistle, and Martin O'Neill may just have the magic touch for Celtic. A quite incredible half-time scoreline. Still plenty of work to do, but Celtic are 2 goals to the goods away in Bologna. The opener was a gift. Skorupski, the goalkeeper, passing straight to Maeda, squared it for Hattati to tap into an empty net. Celtic had to weather a bit of a storm, some good defending before Hattati was then sent off. 33 minutes, 2 bookings in the space of just a few minutes from the Japanese midfielder, put his side in real bother. But in stunning fashion, from a corner, Engels flicked on. Austin Trusty finished from close range to double Celtic's advantage, which means they head for the dressing rooms with a fantastic lead to protect in the second half, a man down. Half-time in the Europa League. It is Bologna 0, 10-man Celtic 2.
Celtic in the UEFA Europa League.
Live on Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
If you like this...
What are you telling me? You're a traitor?
Yes! It's in there!
Then you'll love the final week of The Traitors Uncloaked. We'll get to see how the final few faithful react when they find out who the traitors are. And we'll chat to celebrity fans to hear their theories on what's going to happen next.
This is mega. I feel like I'm back in the game.
They've done it again. I was absolutely hooked.
See and hear it all in the nail-biting last week of The Traitors Uncloaked, the official visualised companion podcast with me, Ed Gamble. Watch on iPlayer, listen for more on BBC Sounds.
What an utterly remarkable first half in Bologna, and it is good news for Celtic. 2-0 up at half-time, and so much to discuss. You are listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Sports Extra with me, Jonathan Sutherland. I'm joined in the studio by BBC Scotland's chief sports writer Tom English and the Scotland legend James McFadden. How on earth do you sum up that first half? Utterly remarkable. It's been a bit doom and gloom at times for our Scottish clubs in European competition. Celtic with that fantastic win against Feyenoord in Rotterdam, and this evening, incredibly, 2-0 up with 10 men against Bologna, in Bologna right now. And Tom English, how do you sum up that first half?
Well, I'm struggling, to be honest. I mean, it's a sensational first half from Celtic. Completely ruthless. They were given a gift of the goal, but they put the press on and, they forced the issue. So they deserved the first goal, red card, and then they hit him with a second goal. It's been astonishing. Bologna probably don't know what's hit them. I'd say the fans, we spoke about it pre-match, given Bologna's poor recent run, particularly at home, no wins in 5, possibly no wins in 6 now, that they'll be getting on Bologna's back. And Celtic have them where they want them now, albeit they've got 10 men. But Bologna, they're going to be nervous, they're going to be panicky, they're going to have to commit. And they can't, I know they're sitting in a nice position in the league, but this would be a disastrous result for them. Disastrous result on the back of some really poor results recently.
James Thomas Duncan saying in commentary, the Martin O'Neill magic touch. It really feels like that, given everything that's happened in this first half, where Bologna have dominated a lot of the ball for large portions of the half, and of course Celtic going down to 10 men. We'll discuss more of that in detail, but your reflections on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. He certainly does seem to have the magic touch, Martin O'Neill, and it probably makes the appointment of Wilfred Nancy all the more baffling that he'd got them in such a good position. But that's another story. But coming into the game tonight, it was about belief. You can tell it is a gift, but as Tom says, and rightly so, Celtic had the press on where you're trying to force a mistake. It's a bad mistake from the goalkeeper, and Hatate, is in the right position, up helping Maida with the press, and he's got a simple tap in, and we're getting a chance to see them again. Yang had a good chance. Not long after that as well, brilliant save, goalkeeper redeems himself to an extent. But then, what I think is probably the biggest difference from Martin O'Neill to Wilfred Nancy is Celtic have had to take some pressure. They've had to absorb a lot of pressure from Bologna, getting it into the wide areas, putting crosses in, getting shots from the edge of the box. They're getting first contacts, they're getting blocks, they're making it difficult. Kasper Schmeichel's had a couple of saves, so they've had to deal with some pressure from Bologna, and they've done that so far. To go and then get a goal, a second goal from a set play, I think will be as pleasing as well, because Pat was speaking before the game about the lack of real height in the team. So to go and really get themselves in an unbelievable position, given the fact they're down to 10, if this were 11v11, they were 2-0 up at half time, it would still be an unbelievable position. But yeah, I think you're seeing a team that believes they can defend, a team that believes they can attack, a team that believe in each other. You see, Callum McGregor at one point gets back and puts in a last ditch tackle. The reaction from his teammates for the appreciation tells you that this is a team that are healing, and certainly a long way into that healing process from the debacle that was Wilfred Nancy.
We'll bring Pat Bonner in soon, but I wanted to get both of your opinions on what will be the big talking point of this first half, the sending off of Rio Hatate, 2 yellow cards. Just to reiterate, he was booked for a foul on Lewis Ferguson for a challenge on Juan Miranda, where he seems to catch Miranda on the Achilles. There's a bit of a lash out from Hatate as well. It's a bit petulant. Anyway, the Celtic manager Martin O'Neill yellow carded. He was absolutely raging. Tom English, what was your view? Was it the correct decision by the referee?
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, there's a little kick out, a little flick out at him. He's on a yellow. It's stupid. He's no need to do it. It's just a nuts. He's lost the head there. And it was a little flick out. And he did deserve a second yellow, and he deserved to go. And he's put his team under massive pressure. But then his team goes and gets a second goal. But listen, there's a long way to go in this match. Celtic away record in Italy. We know 1 win in 16 games. That was against Lazio. ago, many years ago.
Under Neil Lennon.
And what a night that was for them. They've given themselves a phenomenal platform to make that 2 wins in Italy, but I think they're going to have a difficult second half. This is set up, isn't it? This is set up to be a sensational second half.
It certainly is. James, what was your view of the Rio Hattati?
Yeah, I think that, I could see the kind of almost slap on the back of Miranda. I think that when you add into the fact the first one's, a needless booking as well. Miranda's running in towards his own half.
Yeah.
There's no trouble whatsoever. I think normally in that situation, because he's facing his own goal, he's running towards his half, you would always be saying, nothing stupid, don't foul. And Hattati, whether the contact on the Achilles is accidental, you can see he still swings his arm. I think that it's extremely petulant and a stupid decision, because Celtic were having to defend, and obviously the more players you have to help you defend, the better. And it was just a crazy decision. I don't think you can have any complaints from me. I know Martin O'Neill has, maybe, because you're seeing it in real speed, you're maybe not sure what you're looking at. I can understand the frustration there, but I think that Hattati has made a poor decision and deserved to be sent off for that.
I think you look at the performance tonight, and what's so obvious is how psyched up Celtic are for this. Trusty in particular is having a huge game.
His best game for Celtic so far?
He had that brilliant game against Atalanta, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was wonderful that night. This is up there. He's got a goal as well. I mean, this is... but
fantastic block as well.
Fantastic block, really good defending, gets on the end of a flick on from Engels, gets on the back post, goal. And what a big goal that might be. But everything he's done has been... You look at his body language. Look at the body language of all of them. They are up for the battle here in a way that they weren't previously under Nancy, because they were confused. They were kind of befuddled. Now they're organised.
Yep.
They're motivated. They're together. And what a difference. And this isn't rocket science that Martin O'Neill... I mean, look, what do I know about football management? From my perspective, looking at it, he's just got them organised. He's got them motivated and happy. And this is the outcome. A long way to go, as I say, but the first half, that is what an enormous difference from Nancy.
Incredible. I mean, the possession stats stand at 58% for Bologna, 41.7% for Celtic, 13 shots for Bologna, 6 for Celtic. Both sides with 4 shots each on target. In terms of XG, if that's your thing, Bologna 0.8, Celtic 1.9. But the big stat that really matters, 2-0 to Celtic at half-time. I'll bring Pat Bonner in just for a quick thought, Pat, as you've had a bit of time to reflect on that first half. And I suppose, firstly, you were sure, and I take it you're still sure, that Rio Hattati had to go.
Well, a second booking. You go on your second booking, that's the problem. It wasn't a direct sending off. It wasn't dangerous, but it was silly, as the guys have already said. You kick out a little bit, gives the referee a decision to make, and he was very quick to his card. And obviously, the reaction from the player is always going to be one that he's really struggling from the tackle. That's not that's not his fault. But from Hattati's perspective, just after being booked, it was 5 minutes before that. And the first booking, again, as James says, is so silly. He actually 2 fouls in the one instance. He pulls him back, and then he goes into a silly tackle with Ferguson going nowhere on the halfway line. So that is real irresponsible actions from Hattati for me, with a team that is doing so well. The first 15 minutes for me, Celtic were in control of the game. They were pressing, they had organised, everything was right. And then I've got to say, and I hate saying it and criticising the goalkeeper, but he goes and plays a silly ball into midfield. Hattati doesn't control it, but it's a straight ball. Hattati's almost taken on unawares. I don't think he was expecting it, and that puts them on the back foot. And from there on end, they were under pressure. For the next 15, 20 minutes. And then it results, obviously, with Hattati gets sent off. That was always going to be under pressure from there on. But the blocks that Trusty's had, he's had 2 brilliant blocks, and he's also had one that came off his body, went for a put himself in the line of the shot. And that's really good defending. I hope that continues into the second half. McGregor getting back in, showing his responsibility, getting back in to get a touch on it. And that's what they've got to do now, to hang in here. But they're in a brilliant position. And listen, they can go to the bench. There will be players out there as the game goes on will get tired and so on and do a lot of running, a lot of chasing, they're down to 10 men, but they have enough on the bench that can come in and continue that hard work. And if they keep it organised, it was interesting from the set piece. It was Tierney who took the in-swinger. Yeah. And we've seen Ingles taking all of those set pieces for a long time. So they've changed that. It was an in-swinger. Ingles the one in the box that gets a touch on the ball. And because he's got a bit of height, Ingles, he's not one of the small players. He's 6 foot or whatever it is. And so they've looked at that, they've made the change, and it's worked.
And Trusty at the back post, getting it over the line. There's certainly no doubt that the ball came off the crossbar and definitely crossed the line. It was pretty clear. At this point, Celtic 2-0 up against Bologna. It does mean they've hit that magic 10 points in the group stage of the Europa League, which we all feel should mean that they can progress in this competition. They play Utrecht at Parkhead next week. A lot of football to be played in the second half, clearly, and Bologna under Vincenzo Italiano will clearly want to make amends with that extra man in the second half. James McFadden, what will Martin O'Neill's message be to those Celtic players right now?
To defend the way they've defended, they're going to have to defend again. They're going to have to face pressure. I think that it's important that they keep the energy levels and they make sure that they're compact and like Bologna want to get the ball wide anyway and try and create their opportunities from there. But when it comes in, get your blocks in and make sure that you're not giving away anything silly. Keep your discipline. But I think that how that's gone in the first half, when you go away, it doesn't matter who you're playing, you're going to face moments of pressure. You're going to have to defend, you're going to have to deal with crosses, you're going to have to get blocks in, you're going to need to match runners. If one of your teammates loses a runner, you're going to need to cover a cross for him. Then you're going to face these moments. They've faced it brilliantly second half. It's 2-0 and it's a phenomenal scoreline, but anything can happen in football, so don't lose your concentration levels and make sure you approach the second half the same way as which you did in the first half.
Live coverage of Rangers versus Ludogorets from Ibrox Stadium coming up at 8 o'clock this evening. You are listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Sports Extra. Let's head back to this match between Bologna and Celtic. Celtic 2-0 up at half-time. Your commentary team, Pat Bonner and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Jonathan. It's going to be some effort in the second half for Celtic, and Martin O'Neill is going to his bench here. Benjamin Negron is going to come on at half time here. We'll just wait for the number to come up to see who he's replacing as the Swede warms up, does his stretches on the sideline, and Celtic make the change as the board was blocked there, but it's connected, it's coming off. Thankfully the graphic flashes up for us, and Negrin is on, Sebastian Tunecti is off, so pretty clear that's just about pack in the centre of the pitch probably, and maybe leaving Maida up there if they're even ball. They don't need to score, Celtic, they just need to keep the ball out the net as the second half kicks off. Bologna with the same 11 that started the game as they look for a way back in. As I mentioned, they are already on 11 points, so they'll be going through to the knockout phase, but at home without winning 4, 1 win in 9 in Serie A. They really need to stop the slide that they're on and redress some of the momentum that is going against them as they come inside here and send it into the box, booted away down the pitch. And what will Vincenzo Italiano have been saying in the dressing room at half-time? He already demanded a reaction from his team after the home defeat by Fiorentina at the weekends and didn't get it in the first half. And will he get it in the second half? 2 down against 10 men as they knock it about at the back here. Forward to Rowe. Zortea's going to go round him, but Rowe comes inside and he gives it into midfield to Hegjem, and now Miranda out to Dominguez. Opts not to cross, gives it back to Miranda. Now Pobega on the turn, his cross comes off of Donovan's head, then helped further away by Engels. And Bologna will come again. down the left-hand side. Miranda scoops one across to Morrow. He stops on the ball, Bologna's number 6, and slides it across to the corner of the box where Ortea will dig out the cross. Header down towards the corner, but Schmeichel in the end only had to shuffle across a few paces to claim the ball, and it remains 2-0 to Celtic.
Yeah, Ferguson getting in from the cross, just couldn't get enough power on it, and it was an easy one for Schmeichel to take. But just looking at Nygren's come on, and he's gone on. It's almost like a straight swap, you could say, with Tenecti, but you would expect him to be a little bit more defensive, playing in that role, playing almost like an inside left, but he has got to take care and help Tierney. But here's a chance
here from Maida, gets the strike away, and it just goes past Skorupski's left-hand post. It was brilliant work from Engels to win it. Then Yang carried the torch, got it to Maida, who shoots wide, and now Bologna are looking to get on with it quickly, and they play it up to Dalinga straight away. The Dutchman on the right corner of the box. What a challenge from Scales. Never took his eye off the ball for a second, takes it off the striker, and Celtic clear.
Yeah, really good defending, 1v1, just keeping his eyes, you say, on the ball, getting his tackle in at the right moment, and not allowing the defender to push him inside the box when you can't tackle. But I was just going to say about Nygren that he's playing in that. He's got to take care of the right back, Zorta too, who almost is dovetailing a little bit with Jonathan Rowe. One moment he's overlapping, next thing he's gone on the inside and leaving a space for Jonathan Rowe to get the ball. So between himself and Tierney, good communication again, as I said, but I think he's got to be wary of his left shoulder when the ball's on the opposite side, just to see where players are.
Yeah, Bologna beaten by Villa in their opener, drew with Freiburg at home, and beat Aberdeen's conquerors in this competition in the playoff round, FCSB 2-1 in Romania, and drew 0-0 with Brann after themselves going down to 10 in the first half in that game as they throw it down the left-hand side, and Dominguez chases, hotly pursued by Donovan, who gets a challenge in, and then Yang helps him out and ensures it goes out for a throw-in, and it's the corner flag.
Yeah, Dominguez, he's again a little tricky player over on that left-hand side.
Flicked on by Ferguson into the box. Pobega looked like he was offside, didn't get to him anyway. Yang now, and he fires it into space, and Maeda will do well to get there. He won't get there, but he will put pressure on the defender, who squeezes it back to Skorupski, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's a tough one up front on your own now, isn't it? You know, you've got to make those runs, you've got to try to get to the ball, and if you don't get to the ball, you've got to put people under a little bit of pressure and sort of kind of unselfish runs all the time.
Here comes Pobega, the AC Milan loanee, and that's a foul by Yang on Dominguez over on the far side. Just got the better of him, stuck the leg out. Free kick, left-hand side of the box. Yeah,
kind of silly when he's just committed himself too early, and Dominguez, we said he's tricky, he just flipped the ball past him, and then Yang had committed and took him down, but it just puts pressure back on his team.
Yeah, it's when your winger defending in a full-back position. To be fair to Yang, he's done it really well in this game so far, but mistimed his challenge. 50 minutes, Celtic with 10 men on the pitch, 2-0 in front, away at Bologna. And a free kick comes in from Miranda on the left-hand side, and at the near post where Ferguson was waiting, and the strike is blocked. Comes back to Rowe on the edge of the area. He's shut down, poked back into the box. Trusty's header, and back in from Zortea, and then the strike. Schmeichel parries it away, and then Tierney mops up to play it out for a throw-in on the near side.
Yeah, a decent save. You would expect him to save that one. It was a good, decent volley taken first time in among players. It comes through players, so he's got to react again very, very quickly.
Here's Morrow, Croatian. That's a poor pass, and it's lashed down the pitch by Celtic. And for those Celtic fans in the corner,
yeah, it's so important that they hold out now for the next 10-15 minutes if they can, and just take the sting out of this pressure that Bologna is starting to build here. Don't allow them to get back into the game, because then you'll be under severe pressure going into the final moments of the game, or the last quarter of the game.
Well, that's a shocker of a pass. He was looking for the switch to Rowe out on the touchline. It goes miles over his head and into the stands. As we just get another look at the save from Schmeichel, it's Dominguez who thrashes the shot, and it's straight at him, Schmeichel, but he still had to get down low to his left-hand side, Packy.
Yeah, just not even could he hold on to it, you know. It's one of them, goalkeepers don't do that anymore. I know it's easy watching it from here, but you know, when you're out there yourself, just keep the ball out of the net is a critical factor, isn't it?
Yang miscontrols and it is pinched by Bologna, and now here is Zortea, the right back, joined from Cagliari in the summer, weaves his way inside the pitch back to Nicola Moro, and then Dalinga, the striker, drops well out the box, and he's pressured by Maida, who gets a tackle in, throw in, taken by the Dutch striker, and now Moro across to Ferguson, wearing the captain's armband for Bologna, as he drives towards the left corner of the box, lays it to Dominguez, who strikes, blocked by Engels, and now it's Casale striding forwards, and now Rowe, low cross, blocked by Tierney, and Celtic will just have to keep doing this, but the blocks and the challenges in. Rowe goes on the outside of Maida, who's defending the left back position, Scales header away on the edge of the 6-yard box, back to Rowe, he sends it straight back in, and Tierney heads it away. Celtic repelling everything, as now Zortea sends a better ball in, and it's glanced away yet again. Miranda 25 yards out. Dominguez will have to scamper after his pass on the far side, next to the touchline, pulls it back for Miranda, hoists one into the 6-yard box, headed back across goal, and Trusty is there to prevent the strike from Hegjem, and then Rowe's cross is blocked, it's still alive, and Maida gets across to make the challenge on Zortea, goes behind for a corner, still 2-0 to Celtic.
Yeah, could Schmeichel have come for that one at the back post as a big loopy cross, just takes the pressure off if he can, but obviously I don't know, is it Trusty that's down injured? No, Donovan. He's obviously got into a clash there, but yeah, listen, they're surviving, let's put it that way. We did say at half-time that game's not over by any means. You've got to be brave here, you've got to do your work. I always worry about Maeda coming back into that position, and he goes so 100% at everything, and if he get it wrong, then he's been booked already.
Corner taken to the edge of the box, Rowe sends it in with the left foot, headed up by Nygren, and bounces, and Donovan back to his feet, just thumps it well into Bologna's half, and Skorupski is the only man home. The goalkeeper fetches it and knocks it to Miranda, who offloads to Ferguson. Ferguson to Moro. Moro spreads it with the right foot across to Jonathan Rowe, former Norwich City man, drives on the outside of Nygren, and Nygren battles back well, but then he goes again. Rowe flashes in another ball, and Tierney again is there to block. Corner to Bologna.
Yeah, he's a threat, isn't he, Jonathan Rowe? Sometimes maybe he overdoes it, but you know, that was a good block from Tierney again good defensive play, which they have to do, but the corner will be coming in, pressure still on.
Here comes Moro, outswing over the right foot, headed away by Yang, and McGregor goes up, challenges for that, comes straight back in. Scales heads out to this near side, and it'll bounce for Tierney, who just skies it, just gets it down the field in front of Martin O'Neill, who's on the edge of his technical area with a tracksuit on in the Mundials, as Zortea nips away from the challenge of Maida, surges down the right, crosses from deep, headed by Nygren, and then it bounces. Chance here, Dominguez crashes it off the crossbar. Oh, what a chance for Bologna to pull a goal back. It bounced for the young Argentinian, and he lashes it off Schmeichel's crossbar.
Yeah, Scales didn't get a really good header in that one. It's sort of come off his head, but again, it comes to him. He's had to take it first time just as it comes to him, because he's getting pressurised. Hits it on the half volley, and it rises just the right side of the crossbar to keep Celtic 2-0 up. But big chance, you've got to say, and you know, you could say from a Bologna point of view, the goal is coming. They've gone to the bench now again. Yeah, legs coming on.
Yeah, Tommaso Pobega, who's one of their holding midfielders, is coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Jens Odgaard from Denmark. He's often plays in the number 10 role, creative player. He's got 6 goals this season, scored against FCSB and Salzburg, former Inter Milan youth player. So he's on to try and add more attacking impetus in the final third for Bologna as they seek to get back into this game, trailing 10-man Celtic by 2-0 at the Stadio Renato Dall'Ara, as Zortea carries over halfway. He's got a long way to travel here, gives it to Jonathan Rowe. Rowe back to Odgaard, turns away from Maida, who's putting in a power of work as the lone frontman for Celtic, that well back the pitch at the moment as Ferguson takes it just into the area and then offloads it to the left hand side, and it's floated in by Miranda, headed away by Scales, bounces in the edge of the box. Morrow across to Ferguson. Ferguson is on the corner of the box once more. He's forced backwards. Good challenge put in to put him off by Engels. Strike from distance, and it takes a deflection, did it on its way through, and then it's behind for a corner.
Yeah, it did take a deflection. Came off Scales' left foot and just goes the wrong side of the post, with Schmeichel going the opposite way. The luck is with Celtic at the moment.
Yeah, they're putting bodies on the line as the corner comes in. Flicked on at the near post, and then it comes down for... Dominguez was watching it all the way, but Donovan put him off, and it'll come back in from deep from Miranda. Ferguson, it's over him, and then Nygren, he'll glance it behind for another Bologna corner, well into double figures on the corner front for the Italian side. They take it short to Ferguson. Jonathan Rowe, centre of the pitch, 30 yards out, goes across to Morrow in the right back area, flicked on at the near post by Odegaard, and the header, it's in. Bologna have won back. It has been coming, and it's Stalinga, the Dutchman, who celebrates. Celtic's resistance broken at last. The 10 men's leads is halved. It's Bologna 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, and a header from the near post just flicked on. Was he offside? Was he offside? I'm just wondering whether part of his body was beyond Kobe Donovan.
Well, they'll check it. They will check it. Celtic undone by a cross and a flick on. It comes off Schmeichel as well, but their luck runs out as it loops into the corner of the net, and VAR will pour over this now as the referee points to the centre spot, so they're happy that Thijs Dalinga was onside, and Bologna now with their tails up.
Yeah, real game on now, and it's going to be really difficult. We certainly don't have anybody up the pitch at times. When they do win the ball, they just kick it away and they give possession right back to Bologna. And you know, it was only kind of a matter of time when they couldn't maybe defend. There's so many crosses has come in, shots around the edge of the box. They've got away with a little bit of luck. But that time with the flick on just took everybody by surprise, and Linga got inside Colby Donovan at the back post and had an easy enough chance to get the header on target.
Dalinga's third goal of this Europa League phase, and Schmeichel did his best, but it wasn't enough as Rowe now attacks Maeda on the right hand side. Dalinga now delivers the cross, headed down and away, back to the former Toulouse man who's just got Bologna back in this game. Still over half an hour to play in this game, and Celtic's leads down to just the one goal as Miranda takes it, knocks it infield one, and it's into the feet of Ferguson. Ferguson now gives it to Zortea. Zortea curls across towards a penalty spot. Oh, it's a poor header, it breaks into the box, and McGregor is there to mop up and smash it out for a throw into Bologna on this near side.
Yeah, anything can happen in this game now. Listen, it's backs to the wall, just hoping that Celtic can defend that sort of almost, you could say, square between the posts, and do it properly, and just keep getting that bit of luck that they've had in this game so far.
It's out to the far side. Bologna with total domination of the ball, as you would expect, with a player advantage in the second half. Trailing 2-1 against Celtic, as Odegaard, who wasn't on the pitch long before he made a difference, and he's gone from range here, 30 yards out, well struck on target, but Schmeichel comfortable in the save against his compatriot.
Yeah, what has allowed him now to put that extra player again, either getting in between the lines or getting into the box, and the ball is wide, and it's very, very difficult then for Celtic to match him and pick him up, and there'll always be a free player. And even Maeda now has gone back in, almost into the left back position at times, because Nygren is occupied in the middle of the pitch.
Schmeichel plays it out to Donovan in the right back position. He launches it forward, but it's to nobody as Bologna and Casale eat that up as it goes wide to Rowe. drives infield away from Tierney, who pursues him, lays it to Ferguson to Zortea, whose crosses have been dangerous, but that one is headed away by Scales. Rowe controls, nudges it back to Casale. Now it's Odegaard, who's going to go from distance again, drags the left-footed shot wide of Schmeichel's left-hand post. 2-1.
It's almost as if Celtic have said, well, we're not going to play with a striker. We're just going to play with a back four and 5 across, in front of them, and hope that we're going to get away with it. There's no chance really for them to get any really attacking moves and get anybody up the pitch, because Maeda has just drifted back into that left back position with Negrin almost just inside and picking up different positions in midfield. So they've just given up that opportunity to go and create anything.
Yeah, and you wonder if you're going to do that. Do you take off someone like Yang for Ralston and just put another defender on the pitch as Bologna saunter over halfway again unchallenged? Celtic trying to defend their own box. Adama's burst once, it's given away almost as Engels nearly pinched the loose ball in midfield, but it's just kept hold of by Bologna, who now work it to Dominguez on the left-hand side. He comes across the box, gives it to Hegiem, the defender, and then Odegaard, and now out to Miranda, and then back to Hegiem, and now it's Zortea in a central midfield position. His ball in is poor and headed away. Celtic,
it's going to be a long half hour, got to say.
Just shuffling across, got to maintain concentration. And
it's a back six now.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask to defend like this, as they have so often asked Scottish teams to do over the years. Defend like this, and it just keeps coming back. Morrow, Yang read it and then forgot to take the ball with him, and now Dominguez turns and offers it back to Miranda, sends a high cross to the edge of the 6-yard box. The header is missed, but it will be missed by everyone, and Rowe goes after it on the right hand side, gives it to Zortea. Low cross is poor and away by McGregor. 64 nearly played in Italy. Bologna 1, 10-man Celtic 2. Even a point would be a magnificent result for Celtic, with Utrecht to come at home next week. They'll be favourites for that one. But still so much work to do as Rowe slides it to Zortea, cut back, well read by Tierney. How many times has he done that already in this game?
Yeah, it's just like a training game now, almost like a Celtic with a back six with 3 in front of them, and just defending crosses, defending shots, defending little passes, penetrating passes, and getting your body in the way of everything, and that's all that it looks as if they can do, and nothing from a defensive perspective at all.
Odegaard lays it back to Morrow, whose cross ended up creating the goal for Bologna. Miranda to Dominguez, and then back to Hegiem, who's stepping into midfield, and then the strike from distance from Dominguez is blocked and spins away to this near side. I wonder how long it'll be as this cross comes in low and stabbed behind by Odegaard. I wonder how long it may be before we see Riccardo Orsolini, the top scorer for Bologna this season, Italy international, with 10 goals to his name this season, although tends to play as a left footer off the right hand side, and Rowe's doing pretty well at the moment.
Yeah, he's tricky, Rowe, and obviously Dominguez on the other side, and they're the ones that's getting quite a few of the balls. When they circulated, and then it's about a delivery. Can they get the delivery into the right area and get people on the end of it? And can Celtic hold out, defend properly, putting their bodies on the line at times?
Bologna winning their first trophy in half a century last season, that Coppa Italia we mentioned. They have won 7 Serie A titles over only Juve, Inter, AC Milan, Genoa have won more, but their last was in the 60s, as it's played forward to Rowe. And now Odegaard back to Zortea. He's going to roll it with the studs, and thought he was going to swing that in, but he delays, gives it to Odegaard, little turn, and then crosses away by Maeda. And back to Zortea. Bologna keep coming to this right-hand side, and that's a dangerous ball. And now it's shuffled across. Dominguez, again he tries the shot from 19 yards out. Again, Celtic get plenty of bodies in the way, and it's blocked and out for a throw-in, taken quickly.
Yeah, Celtic are just hung on the edge of their 18-yard box between that and...
Here comes another one, and this time Ferguson got a head on it, but it drifts well wide.
Yeah, between that and the penalty spot, that's their defensive kind of almost area, and they just need to, compete for every single ball that comes in there, and just hold nice and strong. But they're certainly Martin has seen him go into his team sheet to see what can he do here. Can he change it in any way to be a bit of a threat? And sometimes they've just given up possession, haven't they? Really.
28 attempts for Bologna, 6 for Celtic, but they've scored the 2 goals as that's cannons off a Bologna player as Donovan tried to clear, and the home side want the free kick. They won't get it. McGregor, and now Nygren, but the referee's going to stop play because Donovan's taken a knock to his head. And so 67.5 minutes played. Bologna 1, 10-man Celtic 2, and I think Celtic, as long as Donovan is okay, will be grateful for the little breather here. And he just went in to try and challenge Ferguson. The two have come together, and then Ferguson's going to land it on him, Packy.
Yeah, but listen, I think he's clever to stay down, and there was a fairly hefty challenge, but I've just seen the goalkeeper replay coming on the TV here. I thought that was another third goal, but no, it's not. It's the first goal, just showing the replay, showing the goals.
It was, Hatate after 5 minutes, Trusty after 14. Between that, 2 bookings in 3 minutes for Rio Hatate, which is why Celtic have going to have to play this game, or have played a chunk of this game with 10 men, and it's going to have to be over an hour by the time all is said and done. It'll be a heroic effort if they can cling to 3 points, which would put them on the brink of the knockout phase of the Europa League. But Bologna will keep banging the door down as we hit 68.5 minutes. Donovan is back on his feet, and Mark Fotheringham and other Celtic coaches out to the edge of the technical area giving on some instructions as Donovan hands on his knees. Don't know whether he's still feeling the effects or whether he's just knackered, because he's put in a heck of a shift.
But he need to get back on the pitch, or they need to make a decision quickly. They can't afford to be down to 9 men. That's the problem.
Certainly not, and that's why Bologna are keen to get on with this goal kick, as Celtic had a rare 40 forwards. Nygren didn't manage to make it stick as Bologna travel through their defenders over the halfway line. Zortea comes inside the pitch, gives it to Moro, and out to the left back Miranda. Inside now to Hegem, and then Zortea. Rose holding his width on this near side. They work it back to the other side now. Hegem steps into the game in the centre half. Miranda, the left back, thinks about sending it in from deep, checks back and gives it to his centre back across to Moro. Moro decides to go back to the left with a floated pass, which is intercepted, and now Yang's trying to dribble out from his own box, and then it's a really wayward clearance, and Bologna are claiming that came off Dyson Maida's arm. It's play on, but he's under pressure from Rowe, and Celtic give it away, and it's careless play from Yang that invites more pressure as Ferguson takes to the edge of the box. Good pass for Odegaard. He's trying to work onto the left foot and does, and he manages to squeeze a shot away there, but it was always heading towards the side netting, and Schmeichel watches it go behind.
Yeah, he's a creative player, Odegaard, isn't he? But Yang, you could see that he didn't have a pass forward, so he tried, he just delayed it slightly on it, and then he knocks a poor pass across the 18-yard box. It could have really went anywhere, but they got away with it against Celtic. They've got their goal kick now, so they'll play it forward into an area.
Bologna look like they're going to bring on Cambiaghi, one of their left wingers on the bench, so it's 70.5 minutes played. Bologna 1, 10-man Celtic 2 in the Europa League, live on BBC Radio Scotland Extra and 5 Sports Extra. Live commentary from Rangers against Ludogorets to come at 8 o'clock as Jonathan Rowe attacks the Celtic boxes away from Maida, gets the byline cut back and comes off Engels and goes onto the roof of the net. Hearts and mouths for Celtic there, but it drops onto the top of Schmeichel's net. Corner.
Yeah, great play from Rowe again. He's up against another quick player, but he's able to go past him with a little bit of trickery, a little drop into the shoulder, and then cuts it back. Engels so lucky that it comes off his foot and goes over the crossbar.
Corner comes in from Moro, glanced away by Trusty to Rowe on the edge of the box, eventually gets it under control and then shuffles onto the left foot. Let's fly! Oh, what a goal! And Bologna are back on level terms, and it is a bit of magic from Jonathan Rowe. Thumping left-footed shot from the edge of the box, flies past Kasper Schmeichel, and it is Bologna 2, 10-man Celtic 2.
Yeah, I'm just having a close look at this. He picks the ball up, controls it really well, cuts on the inside and hits it. Goes through a few bodies, but I would expect Schmeichel to do something, react. It's going to almost straight over the top of him. His feet are too wide apart, and he's left almost in a stationary position. You've got to see that and at least try to react to it. I know he's saying that he's been blocked off, but I'm not so sure. Honestly, it's a shot from where you want the shot to come from, edge of the box, 20 yards out, straight down the middle, and he gets beat, I think, far too easily in that situation.
Triple change.
Sorry to say that, but
triple change coming for Bologna. Cambiaghi, Orsolini, two wingers coming on. Dominguez makes way as Lewis Ferguson also goes off. His work is done. Cambiaghi usually plays over on the left. I think he'll go over and replace Dominguez, and Orsolini on the right as Jonathan Rowe moves inside the pitch. But yeah, only Kasper Schmeichel will know why he didn't make an attempt to save it, because it was right down the middle of the goal, but it had a lot of power behind it. Maybe it was unsighted, maybe he was caught unawares, who knows, but it was straight down the middle of the goal and he didn't get near it really, and it is 2-2, and now Bologna heavy favourites to go on and claim the 3 points with 17 minutes plus stoppage time to play against 10 men.
Yeah, listen, you know, you don't mind. Listen, it was a good strike. There was pace in the ball. He's done really well to control it and create the opportunity for himself. But, you know, at this stage of the game, can you make the big save? Can you keep your team in it? I know he's had some decent saves in the game, but that one, I would think of his quality and his experience, I would expect him to at least react a little bit differently.
And Rowe now breaks forward, gives it to Orsolini, the Bologna captain. He gets onto that left foot, reverses it back with a right, and Schmeichel gets out quickly to smother it on the byline. 2-2, 74 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, Orsolini, the one that you were talking about a couple of minutes ago, strong player, Italian, top goal scorer, but and he will be a threat now. But you're right, his last 15 minutes is going to be really difficult for Celtic, and you know, I'm wondering whether Tati now regrets that silly booking.
I hope he does.
Yeah, I hope he does, and you know, I'm not going to say should he learn from it, because I hate that statement, should you learn from it. You're an experienced player, you know, you've been around the game for a long time, you just don't do those things in European football. Yeah,
it was careless after he gave Celtic the lead after 5 minutes, and a point would still be a good result, a great result for Celtic before Utrecht at home in their final game, as Orsolini sends it in with the left foot, Tierney's header away. So all is not lost, despite the 2-goal lead being lost. If they can cling on for a point here, you would certainly have taken that before kick-off. So still work to be done. Bologna though just keep coming. Celtic with no way out, no way to stay on the ball. It is just backs to the wall, defend, block, make it as difficult as possible for Bologna, and hope Schmeichel, when asked it, makes a couple of saves potentially. Didn't manage to do it for Rowe's blasted shot a few moments ago. Orsolini this time goes on the right foot, sends it to the back post. It's too far in front of everyone, and Cambiaghi will keep it in just on the far side. He's got Yang in front of him, goes back to Miranda, and it's crossed in for Orsolini's header, and Schmeichel able to dive to his right and make a fairly comfortable save, and the flag is gone up anyway. So it remains 2-2 between Bologna and 10-man Celtic.
Yeah, their danders up, aren't they? You know, they know that they can now win this game, and Celtic just nearly keeps their heads up. They have a couple of substitutions coming on here now for Celtic.
Yeah, Johnny Kenny and Tony Ralston are going to replace Hyun-Jun Yang. He's one of those coming off, put in a shift, but certainly not his game to be just defending. Johnny Kenny potentially adding some extra legs, as Colby Donovan also makes his way off the pitch to be replaced by Anthony Ralston. And Donovan has done very well. He largely has done well, and he's been in the team. Played at left back, of course, against Auchinleck Talbot at the weekend. Johnny Kenny scored in that game, had another one ruled out, and he's just going to be asked to, I assume, just run about.
Well, I don't think they've made the decision to go with 6 at the back and 3 in front for majority of this second half. They were kind of almost forced into it to a point, but there was no out ball for them every time they got the ball, and they just give the possession straight back to Bologna. That was just about hanging on, and I just wonder whether Johnny Kenny will stay up the pitch a little bit and see if they maybe kind of change a little bit and just take a little bit more risk at the back.
Egren's won it here, and Kenny he's shrugged off the ball by Casale, and then he's given away the free kick. It's
a silly free kick because they were in, first time they've been up the pitch really in the second half, but they've boxed Bologna into a corner, and they could have got possession, but they've just given it back to them. Simple possession there from a free kick.
12.5 minutes left in Bologna.
Yeah, they've changed again a little bit now. They've gone to a kind of almost a 4-4-1. Kenny looks as if he's kind of staying up front, with Nygren coming back over onto his left-hand side and Maeda over on the right-hand side.
Kenny has been played in by Nygren, and he's done well this time. He's forced Casale to deal with it and prod it out for a throw-in down near the corner flag. So Celtic getting up the pitch, and a man down.
It makes a difference when you have a target. You can play balls in there and then you can get something out of it, and that's exactly what Johnny Kenny did. Make the run down the side of the defender. Ball's played in the corner, and he ends up winning a throw-in, and Celtic can just take the pressure off them up in this corner high up the pitch.
Tierney is going to throw it into the box, and why not test the defence, and they let it bounce, but eventually it's headed away. And then now the counter is on. Brilliant defending from Engels there to get back and hook it away as Rowe looked to break, and now Engels up the other end of the pitch, and he's put it in behind for Johnny Kenny, parried away at the near post by Skorupski. Decent chance. He was wide of the target, Paki, but steered it on target.
Yeah, absolutely, and again a half chance. Very, very wide angle for him to beat the goalkeeper from there, but at least he got a shot on target. They are taking a bit of a risk now at the back.
Sent into the Celtic box up the other end over Dalinga, diving header behind from Tierney, and Bologna have another corner. I think that's 16 for the evening for the Italian side.
Yeah, but you're asking your back four now to do a defensive job, and Bologna do have to change a little bit because Celtic have a bit more players up the pitch, so they'll have to respond.
Outswinger, and it's over the man at the front post, and now Orsolini teeing up the strike, and it was a good challenge, and Orsolini then caught Liam Scales, so it is a free kick to Celtic in their own box. 10 minutes to play. Bologna 2, 10-man Celtic 2 in the Europa League.
Yeah, everything now, just take your time, kill the game a little bit, waste a little bit of time. I know it's you shouldn't be really saying that, but that's the nature of the game. That's
got to play what's in front of you.
Yeah.
As Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney look on from the Celtic bench, it's been a heck of a shift, and I'm sure that Derek McInnes will be rather pleased that Celtic have had to play with 10 men for over an hour, as it's played in behind now for Rowe to chase, and Scales on the slide just gets in the nick of time. Excellent stuff from the Irishman. Throw into Bologna, taken to the feet of Zortea. Now it's into midfield and back out to Casale, the centre back. Across now to Cambiaghi, and he goes on the outside of Ralston, who has a nibble back in, but he's got the ball, and excellent recovery from the Scotland right back as it's up to Engels, can't hold it in. Rowe has it, edge of the box, threatening here for Celtic. Brilliant challenge again from Ralston, and then he boots it downfield, and this will be chased all the way by Maeda, but we'll go through to Skorupski, the goalkeeper. Celtic are 2-0 in front, being pegged back to 2-2 amidst Hatate's sending off, but a point would still be a valuable result, which would set up the chance to win at home against Utrecht next week, which is not a given in any sense, but they, up to tonight, only had 1 point on the board in the Europa League and they're 10th in the Eredivisie, not having a great season. Might be adding Aberdeen's Jesper Karlsson to their ranks by the sounds of it, after his loan was cancelled, as Orsolini bobs and weaves on the right hand side. He plays it infield to Moro, who lays it back to Casale. Bologna just dropped the tempo ever so slightly since scoring the second goal, and that is rather surprising because they had Celtic on the ropes. So they come forward now. Cambiaghi takes it beyond Ralston but can't keep it in, or can he? But it doesn't matter because his cross is cut back and Trusty clears it.
I thought it was out actually. I thought but it just keeps the pressure back on Celtic.
Sent in from deep, again flicked away at the near post by Celtic. Wide up, Moro hits it back to the corner of the box, headed down, taken by Odgaard, but then he's dispossessed and the offside flag was up. So another reprieve for Celtic as they look to see out this game.
You could say that Bologna has sort of kind of stepped back a little bit off it, but I think the change has been made by Celtic, that there are more players higher up the pitch, putting them under a little bit more pressure, and it's not as easy for them to just get the ball and work the ball around the edge of the box and get crosses, and now they've got to think a little bit more, and I think that's better for Celtic, to be honest. You know, 6 at the back, 3 in midfield, they were just pinned back so much. Now at least they're higher up the pitch, and I just think they might be able to get away with this if the back four defends really well.
And that's the task before them now. 7 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Celtic holding on to a draw as it stands. Dalinga throws it back, and it is Casale who goes with a big switch out to his captain Orsolini, who controls it magnificently. Nygren's battling away manfully and puts him off and almost won the ball. Forced back though to Zortea. And now Casale. Low pass along the grass into midfield. Miranda out now to Cambiaghi, returns it to Miranda, he's on the byline and his cross is again booted away by Trusty. He will come again, Serie A sides, as Miranda lays it off and the cross again comes in, and again Austin Trusty is stationed just in line with the near post to head it away. He's been magnificent tonight, Trusty, as well as his goal, as another cross is hoisted in, and Orsolini, such a great leap at the back post, but steers it over the top.
Yeah, he's powerful, isn't he? You know, he's not a typical looking winger, is he? Because he's a big 6 foot guy, built like a tank, and he comes in there, just could fail to keep the ball down. But listen, Celtic are almost 6-7 minutes. I know there will be extra time played here, but you know, if they get away with this result tonight, I think it's a really good achievement. You know, keeps that momentum going. It gives them a point. If you can get that point out of this tonight, I think it's a really good piece of work.
Nicolo Casale, the centre-back, is replaced by left-back Charalampos Lykogiannis for Bologna, as they throw caution to the winds up against the 10 men of Celtic. Rowe, who scored the equaliser, has it, and he works it onto the right foot, and he's spotted Orsolini free, but he can't find him. Does find Dalinga, who scored the first for Bologna. Now it's Zortea, the right back, tricky, and he's away from Nygren, stands across the back post, but it's over everyone, and it will be furiously chased on the far side by Miranda. Lays it back, low cross, flashed in, laid down, Dalinga, strike, and Schmeichel, and it's beaten away, and it stays out the net, crucially for Celtic. Back in from Zortea, McGregor down and away, and they will just keep coming. The Serie A side, left corner of the box, Cambiaghi has it, corner of the area, he's got 2 in front of him, and now the cross comes in from Miranda, and again Trusty with the diving header.
I'm trying to look back at what happened there, whether just the shot came in and Schmeichel just stood and it hit his body and went away.
The angle we were at, it was hard to tell how that ball actually ended up going away from the goal, but here come Bologna, cutbacks on, but it's rolled into the 6-yard box for Odgaard, and it hits Trusty, who was sliding in. He's taken a sore one. Well, the cutback was on all day there for Bologna. but it goes into the body of Trusty, hits off his legs, and Schmeichel is able to pick up. This was the chance, Packy, for...
Oh, it's hit his hand. It was just one of them where it's gone again through. He's just knocked it away with his right hand, Schmeichel, and again any side of him at all, and that was in the back of the net. So that's the bit of luck that you need, and just watching Jonathan Rowe's goal again here, it's incredible. But yeah, Trusty has had a really good night. Again, getting the block in on that occasion when it looked as if they were really vulnerable, Celtic. But Bernardo's coming on.
Yeah, for Arne Engels. So, Portuguese midfielder is on for the final couple of minutes. Celtic with 3+ stoppage time to see out a good point in Bologna. It was at one stage with a 2-0 advantage, looking like it could be more. But Bologna have come back in the second half using the man advantage to full effect, scored twice and still a chance to win it with 2.5 minutes left of the 90 minutes plus whatever will be added. Headed forward, McGregor meets it, plays it up towards Maeda, but it's headed by Nico Giannis, but then Celtic give away a free kick in the Bologna half.
I didn't think there was much in that, to be honest. I thought Bernardo's out just on the pitch. I think he got up well and headed, but again, just keeps the pressure on Celtic, and maybe just trying his best. Johnny Kenny's just come on, played a little bit higher up the pitch, but it's all about this last 5 minutes, I would assume, and can they defend? Can they work? Keep working, keep their concentration. And get those blocks and tackles on, because the last 5 minutes there'll still be big chances here.
Bologna just recycling it around the back at the moment, and a big switch out to Orsolini, who takes it well, and he's onside as well. Step overs, goes past Nygren, sends it into the box, and the header is up and away from Odegaard and then booted clear. And if he'd maybe heard a shout from a teammate, there might have been a few in a better position to head that than Jens Odegaard.
I agree. I was thinking that myself. It was a good header from Celtic's perspective, because he was never going to be in control of what he was going to do.
Another switch to Orsolini, who's causing all sorts of problems, pulls it back to the edge of the box, but there's no one there. And now it's cleared forward, and Johnny Kenny is beyond the defence here. They've got back two of them, and can he hold it up? He's waiting for support. Gets it from Bernardo. Bernardo takes it forward, and then he's quickly crowded out, and then he goes down. Odegaard's battling, he's lost it, and that was a good opportunity for Celtic to try and get further up the pitch and at least win a throw-in or a set piece, but Bernardo should have done better there. That's a good sliding challenge from Scales, comes off the Bologna player, out for a throw-in. 30 seconds left of the 90. Bologna 2, 10-man Celtic 2.
Yeah, I think Johnny Kenny actually did the right thing. He just couldn't see on his right shoulder that Maeda was running through the middle, so he did the right thing to come back out, and then when it was circled to Bernardo, he's too slow on the ball. He knew he was going to get closed down, and he could have done much better, but they still have possession, Celtic, on this left-hand side.
Yeah, you could see what he was trying to do, but he'd been better just punting it down into the corner and forcing Bologna to take a throw in. As McGregor is hassled, but it breaks into Nygren, and then it's Johnny Kenny goes after it. Went down, looked like that might have been a trip there, and he's screaming at the referee. And Celtic have got the throw in. 5 added minutes signalled by the fourth official. Yeah. 5 minutes for Celtic to hold on to a point, or perhaps nick it. They've got field position here.
Yeah, I thought it would be 5 or something around that. It's a difficult one. They have the throw-in up in the left-hand corner. Just keep the ball now. I know they want to put it into the box and try and win this game, but don't give it away and get caught in the counter-attack. Scales is up.
Tierney, long throw into the box, the near post. It's flicked on by Scales, and then it has to be tipped onto the roof of the net by the goalkeeper. Kick. He's given the free kick. The referee... Oh, well, that's disappointing from a Celtic point of view. The Bologna player, I can't quite see who it is I think it's Zortea. He's down in the box, and we'll get a rerun of that, and you can give your verdict, Packy. Was too busy focusing on Scales, getting his header away to see the foul in the middle of the box. But
no, it was Trusty. He's pulled him. Yeah, it's a free kick. He's obviously pulled him initially. That's what it was. So Trusty's almost done the same back to him, but the referee's given the... There's a chance now for Sully again.
Yeah, pass straight out the pitch. by Bologna. Throw into Celtic just over halfway. We've played nearly 1.5 minutes of the 5 added, 2-2, as it's booted up in the air, edge of the box, and it comes down for Maeda, and then it's played forward by Nygren, looking for the run from Maeda, but he wasn't on the same wavelength. It goes through to Skorupski, and now he flings it out to Orsolini. He's put it too far in front of himself. McGregor put in the challenge, but tired McGregor dangled the leg, didn't manage to get the tackle in, and now Bologna come down the left-hand side of Celtic's box. It's laid off to Miranda. He puts one into the area. Odegaard jumps, headed away, and the referee blows for the free kick to Celtic in their own box. They've got 3 minutes left to see out. Bologna 2, 10-man Celtic 2.
Yeah, Nygren had a great chance. I didn't think that he needed to lift it over the defender for Maeda. I think he controlled it and just try and get a shot away. But you know, Celtic again, just they can manage this game out. It's going in the right direction for them. There's only 3 minutes left. The point would be a magnificent result for them, considering they're down to 10 men for such a long part of this game, and that so. You know, they don't have to win the game. A point would take them into that last game against Utrecht at home, and the way they're going at the moment, confidence is much higher. They have a chance of going through in the next phase.
Schmeichel long with a free kick up to Johnny Kenny, who gets a flick of the head on it, and it'll run for a Bologna throw-in deep in their own half. Celtic 2 and a bit minutes away from a valuable point on the road in the Europa League, and they've done it the hard way if they do it. Down to 10 men for over an hour, albeit Hatate had given them the lead before he was dismissed, and then Trusty made it 2-0 after. But it's been all Bologna in the second half, got themselves level, and now pressing for a winner. 2 minutes left. Switch again for Orsolini, and he flicks it back the way now to Zortea. He's got a bit of space if he wants to send it in from deep. He plays it down the side of the box for one of the danger men, Rowe. He shifts his feet quickly, gives it back to Orsolini, who sends it to the back post. Man unmarked, chance here, and it's forced back. It was Dalinga who took it down in turn, but Celtic managed to force him back with a pass. But they'll come again. Cambiaghi lays it to Miranda, who'll send in the cross. Scales and Tierney go up, then Trusty repels. It's in the box, still bouncing away. Orsolini on the half volley, and he sends it over the top of Schmeichel's crossbar. And with just over a minute left, it's Bologna 2, 10-man Celtic 2.
Yeah, he got away with it again. You know, they defended well though. The ball comes in, they've competed under pressure, and Schmeichel just killed the game off now. You know, you have a minute to go. Take as long as you want to take the goal kick and play it into a wide area. Try and get a throw in or something high up the pitch.
Schmeichel taking every second he's allowed to by the officials and launches it long. 40 seconds remaining. It bounces in the Bologna half. Johnny Kenny on the chest. He's marshalled by 2 players. He's still got it. Kenny, then he plays it down the line, and Nygren will get after this. He just has to hold it in. Nygren, he plays the cross into the box, and it goes into the area. And now Bologna will counter. Less than 30 seconds remaining. Oh, it's played too far in front, and Celtic win it, but they just need to get a hold of the ball. Give it away again. Rowe. Now it's out to the left-hand side, and it's forward by Dalinga, and now Miranda scoops the cross in, and it'll bounce on the edge of the box, and then Nygren tries to take it down, eventually does take it down, and that might be that as he clears over halfway. The 5 minutes have been played, the 5 added minutes at the end of this game. The referee hasn't blown the whistle. Bologna slide the pass forward on Orsolini. Left foot switch out to the far side. It's controlled and sent in by Miranda, headed away again by Austin Trusty, and the referee blows the full-time whistle, and Celtic claim a valuable point on the roads against Bologna, having played over an hour with 10 men. It looked like it could have been a dream result at one stage. An early goal from Hatate and one from Trusty before the break. In between, the sending off for Hatate for 2 yellow cards in the space of 3 minutes. 2-0 up at half-time. It was looking rosy for Martin O'Neill and his team. Bologna, though, piled on the pressure in the second half, and strikes from Dalinga and a beauty from Rowe brought them back level. But Celtic, to their credit, defended manfully thereafter and managed to keep the Serie A side out, and they claim a valuable point to nudge closer to that 10 mark, with a chance to finish the job against lowly Utrecht next week at Celtic Park. A battling point on the roads in Europe for Celtic. It finished in Bologna. Bologna 2, 10-man Celtic 2.